What are the causes of retention? If you remember, for Aristotelian causes, we have some effective cause, we have some formal cause, we have some material cause, and we have some final cause. That was the aim of action of the nature. I try to explain these four causes through explaining the cause of retention. Sometimes the expulsive faculty is weak. This is effective cause of Aristotelian logic, if you remember. Sometimes digestive faculty is weak, and the nature hold the food or the primary substance to provide enough time for weak digestive faculty to make digestion complete, and that is the final cause of retention as by Aristotelian logic. Sometimes we have a strong holder faculty that's categorized under the effective cause of Aristotelian logic. Sometimes we have a sticky food. We have thick food that needs more time for digestion. These are under the material cause of Aristotelian logic. Sometimes we have stenosis, narrowing of the canals or reservoirs, or obstruction of reservoir exit. This can categorize under formal cause of retention. Actually, it is the definition of retention or definition of obstruction, holding a large amount of a material behind the stenosis or behind a obstruction. We as healers should help the nature to evacuate these unwilling or extra materials. We do this in Iranian traditional medicine by some ways. Sometimes we use venesection, that is an exit way for all four humors. Also, some spirit also exit from this way and cause weakness. We should notice that. Sometimes we use cupping. Cupping is proper for expelling extra or unnatural sanguine humor, and if we cut narrow or slightly on wet cupping, the yellow bile is most humor that is evacuated from the cutting area of wet cupping. Sometimes we use purgatives. Sometimes we use enema to help the evacuation of the bowels. Purgatives also can expel melancholic humor, phlegmatic humor, and yellow bile humor. And in some purgative, we have also expelling of sanguine humor. They are rare, they are little purgatives that expel all four humors. But most of expelling of purgatives are three humors, except the sanguine humors. Sometimes we use perspirant medication to help the nature evacuate waste through sweating. Also, if you remember, exercise was one of the best way for expelling the wastes by sweating. Sometimes we use vomiting agents to evacuate the stomach, and some phlegm also evacuate by this way. Sometimes even by spitting, expelling the saliva, we can help to evacuate extra phlegm humor from the head. Sometimes by rubbing rough tissue on bathtub, we help to expel the waste of 4 stages of digestion by peeling, or opening the pores. We can help to expelling the vapors and winds also. Sometimes by diuretic agent, we help the liver to expel its waste by urine. There are different kind of helping the nature for expelling waste and unwilling material, and there are some specific rules for each way of expelling that is categorized under the rules of treatment, and we will explain it on next sections. But the most important rule that I should mention it in this section is to attention to spirit. Each expelling way also have some dissolving of the spirit, and if too much spirit expel, the weakness will happen. So by checking the pulse during expelling, and by detecting weakness of the pulse, or by seeing the face of patient, and if we see another signs of weakness like fainting, for example, we should cut the expelling way. Spirit is most important rule that we should notice during expelling. If this was what related to retention and the way that we can help the nature. But if nature expel what that is need, what is necessary, what happen if nature by expelling the waste expel also some precious materials like spirit, like blood, like humors, like moisture of the body, essential moisture of the body, or like reservoirs, like food reservoirs, like primary substance reservoirs of each stage of digestion. What happened? The weakness is, of course, first consequence, and sometimes that is be a consequence of our action as healers. We, for example, when we sick the patient and we evacuate some humors, some essential humors by bad humors. What happens if we evacuate a humor more than it needs? Stenosis and dry distemperament and spasm because of dry distemperament is a consequence of extra expulsion of humors or wastes. Sometimes warm distemperament, if we expel normal sanguine humor or we expel too much phlegm humor as a wet humor. The wetness of these two humor control the warmness of yellow bile, and if we have expulsion of these two wet humor, the warmness show itself, and warm distemperament is a consequence. Reversely, if we use purgative that expel more yellow bile, what happens in our body? Cold distemperament will be a consequence. Sometimes emptiness is a consequence of too much expelling. It's like a weakness. The patient feel emptiness in an organ or in whole body. What is the cause of too much expulsion? We have two main causes. Some cause related to the body, some cause are made by human or healers. For example, venesection, cupping, perspirants or diuretics, if used too much, the more expulsion will be a consequence. If the expulsive faculty be strong, if holder faculty be weak, if we eat too much food that is more than tolerance of digestive faculty, we have expulsion. Undigested food defecation. If the food somehow is cut or diluted by an agent, or if product of a stage of digestion be diluted by water, the expulsion will be easier and we have too much expulsion. If the walls of if the pores that cause exit of some vapor, some winds or some sebum be larger in diameter, we have also more expulsion. In puffy body, we have two kinds of body, compact body and puffy body. In puffy bodies, we have more of these dilated pores and we have more expulsion of spirit as a precious material. Also, we have more expulsion of vapor. The puffiness is a defense mechanism for expulsion of the vapors, for expulsion of extra heat. But by this expulsion, we have expulsion of spirit also, and the weakness is a consequence. So, dilated canals or dilated pores are another cause of expulsion. We can categorize them as formal cause of Aristotelian logic.